Welcome to Echominds, where legends speak again. Today, we have the distinct honor of hosting one of the most revolutionary and controversial minds of the 20th century, a man whose work transformed our understanding of the human psyche. Straight from his era, or rather through the waves of time and the magic of artificial intelligence, please welcome the father of psychoanalysis, Dr. Sigmund Freud. Dr. Freud, were you born in Freiburg?
Yes, I was born on May 6, 1856, in the small town of Freiburg, which at that time was part of Moravia, in the Austrian Empire. My family moved to Vienna when I was about 4 years old, but I retained some memories of that early period.
Were you married? What was your wife's name?
Yes, I married Martha Bernays. We met in Hamburg through her sister Minna, who became an important figure in our family. Our engagement lasted 4 years, a period marked by intense correspondence, and we finally married on September 13th, 1886, in Wandsbek, near Hamburg.
Did you have children? How many?
Yes, Martha and I were blessed with 6 children: Matilda, born in 1887, Jean Martin, 1889, Oliver, 1891, Ernst, 1892, Sophie, 1893, and Anna, 1895. My family was always a central aspect of my life.
What was your primary profession?
My initial training was in medicine, specializing in neurology. I worked at the Vienna General Hospital and later established my own neurological practice. It was through the treatment of patients with neuroses, particularly hysteria, that I gradually moved away from traditional neurology and developed psychoanalysis.
Where did you spend most of your life?
I spent most of my adult life and developed the vast majority of my work in the vibrant, though sometimes conservative, city of Vienna. Our home and practice at Bergasse 19 became a center for the nascent psychoanalytic movement.
Did you face resistance throughout your career?
Ah, yes, resistance was a constant companion, especially in the early years. My ideas about infantile sexuality and the unconscious shocked many of the conventions of the time. I was frequently ridiculed, and my theories met with strong opposition from the established medical and intellectual community.
Did you have any important collaborators early in your career?
Yes, one of my earliest and most important collaborators was Dr. Joseph Breuer. We worked together on cases such as that of Anna O., and his talking cure technique was fundamental to my early ideas about the importance of repressed experiences in the etiology of neuroses. Our collaboration unfortunately did not last, but it was crucial to the beginning of my journey in psychoanalysis.
Did you have to leave Vienna at some point? Where did you go?
Yes, in the final years of my life, with the rise of Nazism and the annexation of Austria by Germany in 1938, my family and I were forced to leave Vienna due to my Jewish heritage. Thanks to the intervention of friends and colleagues, I was able to emigrate to London, where I spent the last year of my life.
Dr. Freud, many still debate the validity of psychoanalysis today. What would you say to skeptics about the importance of exploring the unconscious?
Ah, the skeptics. They have always existed, resisting uncomfortable truths. I would say that neglecting the unconscious is like ignoring the greater part of an iceberg, focusing only on the visible tip. Our deepest motivations, our repressed fears and desires reside there, shaping our behavior in ways that consciousness alone can never explain. To ignore it is to live a life partially unknown to oneself, susceptible to neuroses and inexplicable sufferings.
The concept of Oedipus still generates controversy. Could you explain its importance in the formation of the human psyche?
The Oedipus complex, yes, a crucial point in psychosexual development. It is not necessarily about literal sexual desires in childhood, but rather a complex set of feelings of love for the parent of the opposite sex and rivalry with the parent of the same sex. The way this phase is resolved profoundly influences identity, relationships, and the ability to deal with authority and competition in adult life. It is a fundamental pattern of human experience.
In an increasingly world focused on quick solutions, what is the role of the long-term therapy that you proposed?
The human mind is not a simple mechanism that can be fixed with a quick adjustment. Neuroses are complex constructions rooted in past experiences and deep internal conflicts. Long-term therapy offers the safe space and opportunity for the patient to explore these layers of the unconscious, bring the repressed to light, and through understanding and elaboration, find a path to genuine and lasting healing. Quick solutions may offer superficial relief, but they rarely address the underlying causes of suffering.
You placed great importance on dreams. What is the key to interpreting our own dream experiences?
Dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. They are a disguised form in which our repressed desires and internal conflicts manifest themselves. Interpretation involves deciphering the manifest content, what we remember of the dream, to reach the latent content, the unconscious meaning behind it. Symbols are crucial, and the analysis must take into account the dreamer's free associations, their life experiences, and their psychic conflicts.
How did you see the relationship between culture and neurosis? Does civilization inherently make us neurotic?
Civilization, with its rules, prohibitions, and demands for the sublimation of our primitive impulses, inevitably generates a certain degree of unease. To live in society, we need to repress many of our most basic desires, which can lead to internal conflicts and, in some cases, the development of neuroses. Culture is, therefore, a source of both progress and psychic suffering. The challenge lies in finding a balance between individual satisfaction and the needs of community life.
What is the role of the ego, the id, and the superego in our psychic life? How do they interact?
The id represents our most primitive and unconscious impulses, seeking immediate gratification. The ego, the mediator between the id and the external world, operates according to the reality principle, seeking to satisfy the id's desires in a realistic and socially acceptable way. The superego, the internalized voice of conscience, represents the moral norms and ideals learned from parents and society, judging our actions and thoughts. Psychic health resides in a dynamic balance between these three instances.
In your opinion, what is the greatest source of human suffering?
Human suffering is multifaceted, but I believe that one of the greatest sources lies in unresolved internal conflicts, in the repressions that prevent us from recognizing and integrating our desires and experiences. The constant struggle between our impulses, external reality, and our moral conscience often generates anguish and neurosis. The search for the truth about oneself, however painful, is a path to mitigate this suffering.
If you could give one piece of advice to modern humanity regarding their mental health, what would it be?
I would say, do not be afraid to look within yourselves. Explore the depths of your minds, recognize your repressed desires, and your internal conflicts. The pursuit of self-awareness, although challenging, is essential for a fuller life, less tormented by neuroses. Do not neglect your dreams, your fantasies, and your slips of the tongue. They offer valuable clues about your unconscious.
Dr. Freud, would you change any of your theories in light of current knowledge of neuroscience and psychology?
That is a fascinating question. Certainly, the advancement of knowledge in any field invites us to revise and refine our ideas. I would be curious to examine the findings of neuroscience and modern psychology and see where they corroborate, challenge, or complement my theories. Science is a continuous process of discovery, and psychoanalysis, as part of it, should be no exception. However, I believe that the fundamental importance of the unconscious and the dynamics of psychic conflicts still remain relevant to the understanding of the human mind.
Before we end, we're going to turn down the noise and speed things up. This is rapid fire. One question, one word. What is life?
Conflict,
Greatest human pain?
repression,
What is love?
transference,
Mental health in the future?
masked,
Define yourself in one word.
observer.
Final message?
Remember, if you could ask me just one question, what would it be?
Let us know your question in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more legendary conversations.